Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, sudden disruption in the tech world. We are looking at the abrupt collapse of Meta's monumental move to acquire the AI startup Manus, and we're going to figure out what this incredibly high-profile block deal actually means for the global tech landscape. Let's dive right in because there is so much more happening beneath the surface here than just a canceled corporate contract. We are kicking things off with a totally staggering figure. $2 billion. That was Meta's intended purchase price for Manus. It was a massive deal, specifically designed to rapidly accelerate Meta's capabilities in the fiercely competitive AI space. But before the ink could truly dry on this thing, international regulators, specifically the Chinese government, stepped in and slammed the brakes hard. So here's how we're going to break this down today. First, the problem, the blocked Meta acquisition. Second, the pain points, the geopolitical AI race. And third, the solutions, navigating the open source AI future. Let's jump right into part one, the problem, the blocked Meta acquisition. The timeline of this deal is honestly pure whiplash. It starts with Meta throwing down that incredible $2 billion offer. In response, Manus logically relocates its base of operations to Singapore. A highly strategic move to kind of distance themselves from domestic regulations and engage in a bit of regulatory arbitrage. But then, things get incredibly complicated. China initiates a strict deal review, essentially freezing the acquisition, and almost immediately after, a severe travel ban is enforced directly on the Manus founders, explicitly preventing them from leaving the country. Just like that, a standard corporate acquisition instantly transforms into a very tense geopolitical standoff. Now, Meta's complex relationship with China is absolutely not a new phenomenon. For years, Mark Zuckerberg has made highly publicized efforts to court favor in the region. Observers often point back to a famous 2015 White House dinner where Zuckerberg actually asked President Xi Jinping to give his unborn daughter an honorary Chinese name. The leader declined the request, stating simply that it was too much responsibility. It's a fascinating historical anecdote, right? It perfectly highlights a long-standing, delicate dynamic, where Meta continually pushes for access, while the Chinese state maintains highly calculated, rigid boundaries. Moving on to part two, the pain points, the geopolitical AI race. This is fundamentally a clash of systems, and understanding it is vital for grasping the stakes here. On one hand, you have the dominant Western tech stance, where tech leaders, like the CEO of Palantir, are actively voicing concerns that if the West doesn't push harder, a surveillance state model will ultimately win the AI race. But on the flip side, China possesses a very real, tangible market edge right now. They have incredibly abundant data, they deploy new technology at a blistering pace, and they're rolling out highly advanced hardware, like the Denza Z9 GT electric vehicle, which serves as physical proof of their rapid, real-world technological deployment. However, if we look beneath the surface, these geopolitical arguments are highly contested. A lot of market analysts fiercely debate the intense anti-China rhetoric coming from Western tech circles. In fact, some impartial observers argue that heavy political rhetoric is frequently utilized as a smokescreen. The idea is that pointing fingers across the globe is often a distraction from the sheer competitive reality of global innovation and used to mask domestic corporate failures or political shortcomings at home. And that competitive reality? It's fundamentally about human beings. There is this striking phrase currently circulating among tech commentators. The AI race is between Chinese people in China and Chinese people in America. It is a really powerful statement that perfectly encapsulates the intense turbulence surrounding global talent right now. To put this into perspective, the demographics completely back this up. An estimated half of all global AI researchers are of ethnic Chinese origin. Inside the tech giants themselves, Meta's own AI superintelligence team relies extremely heavily on talent from the People's Republic of China. And it isn't just Meta. Elite researchers at top-tier firms like Anthropic and OpenAI share incredibly similar demographic backgrounds. The core talent pool driving American AI dominance is deeply, inextricably linked to China. Which leads us to a really fascinating corporate reality check. Despite the official government block on the Manus acquisition, did Meta actually lose? Enter the concept of IP harvesting. This is a situation where a buyer successfully integrates the top performers and the core knowledge from a target company, even if the formal paperwork totally unwinds. Industry insiders argue that over the months this deal was quietly in the works, many of Manus's top performers had actually already migrated into specific high-level roles within Meta anyway. So the intellectual property was effectively harvested. The founders might be restricted from traveling, but the talent, the algorithms, and the critical ideas have largely already crossed the border, bypassing the regulatory roadblock entirely. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 3, Solutions, Navigating the Open Source AI Future. Interestingly enough, some tech analysts are suggesting Meta might actually be quietly celebrating this collapse because there's a massive silver lining here. Meta just avoided spending $2 billion on a proprietary technology that, given the absolute light speed pace of AI development, could already be falling behind the curve. In the AI world, a few months of regulatory review isn't just a slight delay, it's practically a lifetime that can render a cutting-edge startup completely obsolete. The market is rapidly pivoting away from these multi-billion-dollar proprietary deals and shifting heavily toward incredibly powerful open-source models. Alternatives like OpenClaw and Hermes agents are gaining massive traction right now. To put that in perspective, unlike your basic chatbots that just answer questions, these are agentic AIs. They can actually execute complex, multi-step tasks on their own, like booking flights, organizing data, or writing code. When vast open-source communities are collaborating and building generative AI at this incredibly high level for free, spending billions on a single startup like Manus starts to look less like a strategic necessity and more like a huge, unnecessary risk. This brings us to a provocative reality I want to leave you with today. As we've seen, Meta likely got the key talent and knowledge they wanted, even while regulators formally blocked the financial deal and physically restricted the founders' movements. So it really begs the question, when talent crosses borders, but founders cannot, who truly wins the global AI race? Is it the nation desperately trying to maintain control over its companies, or the multinational corporations seamlessly absorbing the knowledge? It's a complex, evolving reality that will absolutely continue to shape the technology we use every single day. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the systems that build our future.